Welcome back to Loose Frame Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Martin Olich, and joining me today,
I'm Sam Allen.
And I'm Bertie Doyle.
good morning, ladies. How are you?
Good morning.
Good.
Excited for the film festival.
Yes, we have a very special episode, an unusual one, not our normal interview, but we're doing a little preview episode of the Gasparilla Film Festival, which is coming up when?
It's the March 25th to the 30th.
And for those who are listening and don't know, Gasparilla is the Tampa Bay's largest film festival, and it's an 18th year. There's a lot of great film festivals in the area, but we are sort of the mainstay for Tampa.
Absolutely.
I've been on the board since 2013. Our guest today is Roia Barrios, who is the president of the board currently. She's been on the board almost as long as I have. You volunteered, haven't you, Sam?
Yes, absolutely. I had a great time as a volunteer.
Awesome. And you've just experienced it from being with the Film Commission.
Yeah, from the Film Commission and then at my last job at the Educational TV.
Yeah, and I forgot, you did the interviews with the filmmakers every year.
I've done interviews with filmmakers for 3-4 years now, I think.
Yeah, and it's always fun.
It is. Yeah. I used to interview Tyler as part of it since we're the presenting sponsor.
I was just remembering that.
Yeah.
And you always did a great job.
Thank you. You can go ahead and check that out at tbae.net, Filmmaker Spotlight.
Yes. Well, you should anyway, because they cover a lot of the workshops and panels, and they do all the red carpet interviews.
Yeah, that's TBAE Network here in Tampa, and they do Filmmaker Spotlight every year. They show the short in the middle. So we do kind of like the podcast where we do an intro. Thanks for joining me. You're the filmmaker. Let's watch the movie. And then we watch the movie. And then we come back for questions and analysis. So it's pretty in-depth.
We won't spoil anymore. We'll get right to the interview. And with that, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Loose Frame Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Martin Olich, and joining me now, Roia Barrios. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Tyler?
I am excellent. You are a lawyer in your normal day-to-day job.
I am.
We're not having you on for any legal advice today.
Thank you.
We're here to talk about sort of a mini preview episode of the upcoming Gasparilla Film Festival, which you are the current, president of the board? President of the board. So how long have you been involved with the film festival?
I think since about 2013. I think we were just talking about it and we started about the same time.
How does a lawyer decide, I want to get involved with a film festival?
So for a long time, most of the board was actually lawyers, as you recall.
It still is, actually.
Okay. So it's not that unnatural. I started with Rachel when Rachel Feynman was president. She brought me on. She's a close friend. So she brought me on to kind of spearhead Family Day, which was it was kind of something we did with Suncoast. We haven't done it since Suncoast.
But it was a cool idea. Let's have something just for the family and the kids and get them together on the weekends.
It was, yeah.
So we were in the 18th year of the film festival. Had you been aware of the film festival prior to Rachel sort of courting you to come on board?
So only because Rachel was so involved in the film festival. And like I said, we were friends. So I did know. I had attended previously.
Yeah. Are you a big movie buff?
I am. I would say that I am. Less so now.
Yeah.
I mean, more so now, but there was kind of a gap. Let's say that there was a gap as I was, watching a lot of just children's programming.
Yeah. Which is fair. You have kids. So
yes.
What is, and we'll judge you right now, what is your actual favorite movie?
You're going to so judge me.
No, I won't.
No doubt. Overboard.
Overboard? Really?
All day, every day.
Oh my gosh. All right, mine's Tombstone, so I'm not that far off. What is the favorite movie you've seen at the festival? Can you remember one?
Oh, God, there's so many good ones, and I'm not really just saying
Is there
that.
particularly Open Night?
Resident Orca's fantastic. With The Mistress Dispeller is fantastic. There's just so many good submissions this year.
And it really is surprising. I've been doing this since 2013. We came in around the same time. Just the quality of the submissions year after year has just gotten better and better and better.
Absolutely. I completely agree. I mean, and it's nice because we don't have, we have to sift through all of it. Yeah. So it's been nice to just really start with better content.
And I think bigger film festivals that have full-time staffs have the luxury of just, I'm on the board, just kind of sit there, make sure things run, help to get some fundraising. That is not the case for GIF.
No, we have
Go ahead.
The most incredible volunteers. I sat in on the screening meeting yesterday. They're so dedicated. one of the volunteers has screened, I think, all but 19 of them. So that's over 400 films. I mean, their dedication, considering it's just a volunteer position, is amazing. And we're just so appreciative.
And it is a hands-on board. So, I mean, everything from doing the Q&As, helping to book guests, welcoming people to the festival, just running the parties at the end of the night. Like, it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And we're just so lucky.
Yes. And you're usually exhausted by the end of it.
That is true. That is true. It wipes everybody out, but in the best way, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's a bender.
So why do you think it's important to support a local film festival?
I mean, I just think it's so important to the city, right? I mean, how can you be a city if you lack the cultural events of a film festival, of an arts festival? It really speaks to the soul of who we are as a city. And I think, that's kind of why. And really to attract people. You know, everybody thinks that, you know, even Austin's so cool and LA and all, you know, Tribeca, but Tampa's cool.
Yeah, it is. And we are one of the only film festivals in the U.S. that still flies in all the accepted filmmakers, puts them up in a hotel. So it is a very filmmaker-friendly festival, too. It's not just people going to watch movies, certainly that. But there's a lot of filmmakers here, too, and you can really learn a lot about their craft and networking. It's a very positive film festival. Yeah. What can people expect at this year's festival?
So, we have over 100 films screening. We have really great parties. We have a wonderful opening night party, closing night party. You can do VIP for those. We have panels, Q&A with filmmakers. So you actually have the opportunity to ask questions to the actors, producers, directors. We have workshops, all sorts of cool things.
And for VIPs, they can also meet some celebrities for our parties, too.
They can, yeah. We have meet and greets with celebrities on the red carpet, so just stand by.
Yeah. So in the time that you've been with the board, how has it grown? We just mentioned like the submissions have gotten better and better and better, but do you feel like it's grown with the city as the downtown sort of changed?
I actually don't know. Because I think the core of the people who are interested in the festival has remained maybe the same. I don't know that it's really grown at the same rate as the city. What do you think?
I mean, I think it's been hard. It's been a struggle. And I think this is not just for our festival, but other festivals in town too. Venues have just become harder and harder to get a hold of. And I think we had that sort of plucky pop-up feel to us early on. And then we moved into the AMC in Ybor City. But all the theaters have gone away. We're really down to just one theater left in the metro area without having to drive far north. And we do have the beautiful Tampa Theater, which we definitely activate for opening and closing night. But it's hard to really find a venue where you can build a bigger film festival and you only have one screen to play on.
Absolutely. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is that you just can't like pop up a theater anywhere. You have to have the equipment. So even though there might be space, it's not space that would be conducive to showing a film, which is really where we come into our problems. Every year, you know this, we're scrambling to find theaters.
Yeah.
And, we think we might have one and then it slips away.
Yeah. And that's changed over the years. So for people who don't go to a lot of film festivals or maybe haven't been to one in a while, it used to be, if you have a projector that's good enough, right? If you have a sound system that's good enough. And that's not true anymore. Everything is what we call DCP or digital cinema prints. So if you're trying to attract a large film somewhere, you have to have a DCP capable projector and ingestion system, which outside of a normal theater, you're not going to find one. So you just can't pop it up somewhere in the middle of a park.
Maybe you can explain, honestly, more as to how the size of it, the cost of it, as to why we don't just own one as the festival.
No, it's insane. So just a standard DCP projection system, it's about $200,000. So you're not going to make that money back if we purchase it ever. And there's no incentive for a rental company to own that hardware because it's so hard to maintain. It really needs to be sort of static in like a one place. It never moves, which is why AMCs and Regals and everything else don't have those. Everywhere else, it's not practical anymore. And as a filmmaker festival, filmmakers really care about the quality of their projection, right? We've had some blowups over the years where people come in and it's like the sound's not right, the color's not right, something's off. They care. This is their craft. This is their art form. So it's really hard these days to just have like a pop-up.
And we want to do them right.
Yeah.
We don't want to put them in some makeshift theater. So yeah, it's important. But you're right. That's been really hard with just the rebuilding of downtown. There really hasn't been any mention of a theater.
Yeah. Which is surprising to me because we have so many developments going up, both in the gasworks section, the part 2 of the Water Street District redevelopment, Midtown, and there's just no theaters mentioned. It's surprising for a metro area this large.
It is, and I mean, obviously, it has to do with Netflix. People are streaming stuff at home, so that's a different conversation. Which is actually why I think it's so important to have a festival, something that gets you out with the community to do, like to watch films.
And look, I'll be completely honest. There are some films where if I saw it in the theater, I'd be like, I'd rather be sitting on my couch at home. But there's other movies you watch where you really want to
Absolutely.
talk about it afterwards. Like The Brutalist is playing right now, which I don't know if you've seen The Brutalist.
No.
It's 3 hours long. It has an intermission. It's intense, but it's one of those movies where you walk out of there. It's like, I need to talk to someone about this right now. And if you don't have that communal viewing experience, you're not going to really be able to share that.
Yeah. And I always find that with comedies. I don't like to watch comedies alone. I think it's just so much better to laugh with other people and to feed off that energy in an audience.
Sure. Well, it's contagious, right? Same thing with like a horror movie, right? Yep. Like if someone next to you jumps in their seat, you're going to be scared
Absolutely.
too. It's a cool experience.
Yeah.
So what is you mentioned just the importance of culture, of really having a local film festival that's reflective of the community. But why is it important for businesses in the community to sponsor a festival like GIF?
And because they're supporting that culture, right? I mean, businesses want to bring in talent, and talent wants cultural things, especially as Tampa is competing with these other younger cities too. This is what they're doing. This is what's attracting workers to their cities, and it makes for happier workers. People don't on the weekends want to sit around and have nothing to do.
Yeah. And that's funny. That's exactly what I was telling someone the other day. Like, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, downtown Tampa rolled up. Like there was just nothing to do after 9 p.m. Like their businesses were closed. There was no restaurants. There was one dive bar that stayed open a little later, the Hub. Everyone who's been to Tampa knows the Hub.
Anybody who's been around Tyler knows the Hub.
Also true. I usually buy people shots before opening night there. But it was just a kind of a dead city after 5 p.m. And that's not the case anymore. There's a much more nightlife happening, and it's growing every day. So I think you're absolutely right. Like, if I'm Bristol Myers Squibb or some large corporation that's invested and moved my company here to Tampa Bay, I'm looking for new talent. And if talent doesn't want to come here because they fly in and it's boring and there's nothing to do past 9 o'clock, they're going to go someplace else. Yeah. So I think you're right. I think that's one of the main reasons why corporations, companies here in town, individuals support local film festivals like GIF through sponsorship, because it helps grow that culture that's going to attract good talent.
And we can't exist as a festival without those sponsorships. Yeah. I think it's TIFF, they're their own, right? They're their own corporation, are they? But although they get a lot of sponsorships, but like our festival relies exclusively on donations.
Yeah, we are not a for-profit film festival. In fact, I don't think we've ever once made a profit, or in fact, we're always in deficits every single year.
I know.
But it costs a lot of money to throw one of these festivals. I'm not going to give away our operating budget, but it is very tiny. People I think would be surprised at just how much we're able to do with so little. And that shouldn't be the case. We should have bigger coffers, more support to really put on a 5-star film festival.
Absolutely. And we will.
Yeah. We're growing.
That's
18 years.
Yeah, that's why we're here.
Maybe the 20th year, we're going to figure this out. Yeah. So if a company or an individual wants to get involved with the film festival, how can they do that?
Well, they can go online to www.gasparilafilmfestival.com, and they can look at our different membership options or sponsorship options. There's generally 2 sponsorships. There's a corporate sponsorship and then an individual sponsorship where you could get a red carpet membership if you don't belong, or your company can't commit. If you want to commit, you get so many great perks: front of the line, reserved seating, access to all of the parties. So that's actually a really good deal for somebody.
Yeah, if you're planning to go to more than 2 movies, it makes all the sense in the world to upgrade to a red carpet membership.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you'll get your lanyard so that everybody knows that you're a supporter of the festival.
Yeah. Which is fun. And if you've ever been to a film festival, if you have those lanyards, people come up to you and want to talk to you.
You're VIP.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to be VIP?
Exactly. Especially for opening and closing nights.
Absolutely.
They're awesome at Tampa Theater, which is one of the most beautiful theaters in the country.
No doubt.
It blows people's minds when they go in there for the first time. I love taking people on tours to that space, and they walk out from underneath the second floor, and they can actually look up and see the night sky, and it's awesome.
Yes.
So it's a cool experience, especially for an opening night for a film festival.
We're so lucky to have the Tampa Theater.
Yeah. So if people can't financially support the festival, they just want to donate their time and their effort, how can they do that?
Sure. They can go online to our website, www.gasparillafilmfestival.com, and they can click on the volunteer tab. And generally, if you volunteer, that also will give you passes to attend the festival too. And like I said, we rely so heavily on our volunteers. We're so thankful for our volunteers. I'm a little biased, but I think we have the best volunteers. So that's absolutely an opportunity for people who want to help out or who otherwise can't really afford the festival.
Yeah. It is a great way to support the fest. I believe if you work 2 shifts, you get a day pass. And again, with a 5-day festival this year, it's going to be really easy to make those hours.
Absolutely.
And enjoy the rest of the fest.
And it's fun. I mean, we just we have a great time with our volunteers.
Yeah, we do. We treat them really well.
I like to think so.
Yeah. And we have a ton of movies. We usually play almost 100 films every single year. We might actually have more since our festival's a little longer than normal. What are our dates actually for this year?
So it's March 25th to the 30th. So it goes Tuesday to Sunday.
Which is unusual. Normally we do Thursday through Sunday, but we've added 2 days.
Yes, we have added 2 days. Lucky us.
By the time this is coming out, we'll have the schedule posted. But
so we're still finalizing because we want to make sure that we select the best films.
Yeah. I mean, literally, full transparency, we're shooting this way before the film festival. We literally just closed submissions, 2 days ago?
Yeah, but some are still trickling in, quite honestly.
You know, it happens sometimes. And if it's good enough, we'll keep looking at them.
We will. We're not above closing.
Yeah, no, we're not, especially for the right movie. So it's the 18th year coming up. What are you most excited about for this coming festival?
Well, selfishly, I'm president this year. So I think that's just exciting for me. I've been on the board for a long time. So I'm just really excited to just see a successful festival. It's getting better every year. So I'm hoping that this is the best year yet. Yeah.
Are you good at speaking? I mean, you're a lawyer. I'm sure you're good at talking in front of people. No?
I mean, it's been a while since I've been in a courtroom, quite honestly. I kind of, I work in my office, just me. Yeah.
So
solo practitioner.
Are you looking forward to giving that opening night speech in front of 1,500 people?
I would be lying if I said yes.
It is a good time, though. Okay, well, with that, we'll wrap it up. Final thoughts. Top 3 reasons why people should come to the festival this year.
To support Tampa, to support the film industry in Tampa, and just have a good time.
I love all 3 of those things. Yeah. So that's fantastic. Well, guys, again, the festival is the 25th through the 30th of March. You can learn more about the festival at www.gasparillafilmfestival.com. And with that, we hope you guys support. We hope you guys come out. Any final thoughts?
No, see you soon.
See you soon. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
And we're back. A quick preview of what's to come, but we have all experienced the Gasparilla Film Festival a couple times now, both as volunteers, both working it, enjoying it. So let's just talk about some of our favorite memories. What was the first time you went to GIF, Sam?
I think it was actually 2013, 2014 when I was an intern here at Film Tampa Bay. But I think my favorite year volunteering was actually last year.
Okay.
My experience last year is like the exact reason why we should have film festivals. I got to meet so many different people, and not even celebrities, just people that love cinema. And watching the movies together has a completely different experience, and like meeting different people, helping out. And it was really good for community engagement. And I really enjoyed all the things that I did when I was volunteering.
Yeah. We also have so many different perspectives and like the Q&As with the filmmakers. Last year, I know we did the ones that there was a guy who was young and he had just started, and there was a guy who was older and he's made 1,000 movies. And so the perspectives were different. So it was cool to hear from all of them instead of just one at a time.
So my favorite part is just being able to talk to the filmmakers after the films, and being in the room for those Q&As are great. You get insights you wouldn't hear otherwise. You learn a little bit about the process behind making the movie, but also why they made the movie, why it was important to them. And sometimes you get really off-the-wall questions from audience members that can either just be fun because it's a train wreck, or it's really insightful and like, wow, I would never have thought to ask that question. Yeah. Have you been in any Q&As that are particularly memorable?
Yes. Last year, one of the better movies I thought that we played was Rhino Man. And it was about the people that are armed to protect the wildlife in Africa on different reserves where poachers are trying to poach them. We had the producer and the director there, and not to spoil it, but Rhino Man ends with our main character. It's a documentary, but it ends with our main character dying in the line of fire. So we had the documentary, or the director and the producer there to continue his legacy and talk about why it was so important and why he knew that probably eventually he was going to die for this job. Carol Baskin was there. Carol Baskin. So it's one of those things where it's like it's spreading awareness about this thing. Carol Baskin's got enough weight that if she wanted to do something about this cause or for this cause, that she totally could. So the fact that she was there and she's Tampa local, it speaks to why we bring people here.
Carol Baskin, famously from Tiger King.
Also filmed in Tampa.
Also filmed in Tampa.
What about you, Sam? Any favorite Q&As?
I don't have any favorite Q&As from the festival off the top of my head because I was kind of all hands on deck when I was there.
Yeah.
I think my main takeaway from that, though, was that a lot of the volunteers were aspiring filmmakers. So the idea that they had the opportunity to talk to the filmmakers that were there for the festival and, get advice or, seek counsel with them, I thought that was a great idea. So it was like mini Q&As, on the fly when we were doing our volunteer work and we had, breaks and things like that. I thought that was a really great opportunity for everyone.
Well, it's the same with having the high school and the college kids that are involved. In the past, we've had a high school shorts competition. We always have a college, like UT students and Florida local students. And to have them volunteering and being around this in this world and getting so much experience and then also submitting their films, it's like an overall very educational film festival.
Yeah, and there's a lot to learn, especially as a young filmmaker, of what to do and not to do at film festivals. And I see this all the time where people submit and they submit and submit. It's like, no film festival takes my movie. Well, you made a 45-minute short. Like, it's going nowhere. What were you thinking? The sound is terrible. You haven't done any color correction. Like, learn from these experiences. See what's actually playing, what's working, what's not. And if you take that away, you can learn a lot at a film festival.
It's what Stephen Demler said in our December episode about, submit to the festivals that make sense for you and GIF. The people that submit know what they're getting out of GIF in a positive way, in like a confident way.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you are a local filmmaker and you don't attend the local film festivals, whether it's Gasparilla Film Festival or Sunscreen, which happens on the St. Pete side of the Bay, shame on you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's your opportunity not only to support the community you want to join, but also to learn from people who have a little more experience than you might have.
The Jewish Film Festival just passed and the Black Arts and Film Festival. And we have so many things like this that GIF gets to support in our own way that brings us all together.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I've been doing this for a long time with the board since 2013, but I have somehow lucked out being able to do the opening and closing night Q&A on stage every year. So I've had the opportunity to interview like Tim Blake Nelson,
I was going to say
the Long Brothers, and John Travolta. I mean, a lot of really cool actors and directors and producers I've had the opportunity to talk to.
There you go.
But they're also really great. Like my one with Tim Blake Nelson was fabulous.
Oh my God.
You know what? I actually was there in the audience for that one. That was a great one.
He had so many nice things to say about the film festival because that was our closing night film, The
Last
Invisibles.
year,
Which was also just heartwarming and enjoyable.
Yeah, it was a lovely film, but we got the opportunity to talk on stage about his kids and how that affected his performance. And it was a really great conversation.
It was.
Really insightful.
Yeah, I remember at the end, he specifically made a comment about like, this is why this film festival is so important so we can show stories like this. And it was like, he's so right. That is exactly it in a nutshell.
Yeah, I totally. So if people want to volunteer, let's do another call to action, even though Roia brought it up. Where can they go, Sam?
They can go to GasparillafilmFestival.com or they can go to their Instagram account, Gasparilla Film.
And as someone who has volunteered, would you recommend it?
I absolutely would. It's an incredible time, and I would be volunteering this year if I wasn't working it.
I appreciate that. And if they want to support financially or just figure out what the heck's going on at the festival, Birdie, where do they go?
So Film Tampa Bay across the board will be covering all of the gift schedules and all the information that's to come. So you can follow us at Film Tampa Bay across the board. You can follow Gasparilla Film on Instagram and Facebook. I'm sure they're on Threads also. And keep an eye out because that stuff's all going to start dropping in the next couple weeks. And you're going to want to be there because it's going to be incredible this year.
And the festival, again, is the 25th of March through the 30th. Opening night's that Tuesday. It's always an awesome time. Closing night's fantastic. I'll be there. But so will all of us, actually.
Yes,
we'll be
We'll
working
all be there. And we should say shout out to Hillary, who is currently representing Film Tampa Bay at Sundance Film Festival, but she is a major player when it comes to GIF. She screens all of the movies. She has impeccable
outrageous
taste.
number of movies.
Yes.
Roya mentioned there was someone that had watched all but 14 of the 400 plus movies.
That was
Hillary. But she also puts together all the panels and does all of the Q&As with, not the Q&As, but the workshops with the talent that's involved with the festival. And they're great. She has some really insightful questions. She really takes the time to learn about the guests and research the topics she talks about. And it's really one of the best parts of the festival.
Yeah. And finally, to wrap it up, you can check out Loose Framing Podcast anywhere you view podcasts, and make sure you follow us at Film Tampa Bay across the board.
And with that, we will see you at GIF.